Hey guys, good afternoon. I'd like to extend a very warm welcome to everybody joining us for today's webinar, which is entitled Accelerate Your Digital Transformation Journey with HPE and Alpha Data. So I'm just going to first of all now hand you over to Gibi Abraham Thomas, who is the manager of the Presales and Technologies at Alpha Data. He's going to give you a brief overview of how Alpha Data has positioned itself as a leading systems integrator in the Middle East, and we'll give a brief overview of today's webinar in conjunction with HPE. So without further ado, I'd like to hand you over now to Gibi Abraham.
Thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon all. It's my absolute pleasure to welcome you all to this event. I hope you and family are keeping well at this time. My name is Gibi Thomas. I manage the Presales and Technologies division of Alpha Data Dubai operation. With our deep roots of one of the oldest, largest, and probably the strongest traditional system integrator in the country, with a great vision of our leadership, we are evolving to be the most reliable digital transformation partner in the country. We have a workforce of more than 1,300 employees between Abu Dhabi and Dubai operations, out of which 500 has skilled technical expertise in the areas of traditional IT, cybersecurity, digital workspace, cloud, big data and analytics, artificial intelligence, and IoT. And we are serving more than 3,000 plus active customers in the country. And that ranges from the smallest to the largest in the country. Yeah. We also have a strong hold of a selected ecosystem partnership, especially in the journey of digital transformation. And basically, we have around 1,300 employees between Dubai and Abu Dhabi, and 500 plus employees are skilled technical expertise in the area of traditional IT, the cybersecurity, digital workspace, cloud and software, big data, analytics, and artificial intelligence. And we have almost 3,000 plus active customers in the country, and that is from the smallest to the largest. And we also hold a strong ecosystem partnership. Sorry if I have repeated this once again, but we value our partnership with the vendors. Especially, we have the highest level of partnership with HPE and having the top specialization and competency. Just coming to a quick agenda, we have actually 3 sessions and small sessions. The first session we will be covering the technology, one of the technology trends, and the other 2 will be talking about flexible business model from HPE to Alpha Data that as a customer you can enjoy. As you are aware, the traditional IT is evolved from a traditional client-server architecture to a virtualization model, and then to the cloud era. Now it is an era of containers. Now the container is a platform for the software-defined data center and also the cloud, and is mainly used in the deployment of the microservices of the cloud-native application, and also to modernize the legacy applications. So HPE will be, along with Alpha Data, will be presenting the HPE Container Platform initially as a technology trend. And the second one is about today customers are looking for a cloud on the premises. They are on a cloud journey. The adoption of the cloud is fast growing. So people are looking at the restriction in the country or in the region. People are looking for a cloud-like consumption model on the premise, and to have the flexibility and agility of go-to-market, to accelerate the journey to go-to-market, and also enjoy the pay-as-you-go and pay-as-you-grow service. And we will be presenting that as an HPE Green Lake offering to our customers. And the third one is today customer, as especially at this point of time, customers are looking at mobilizing their available limited budget to multiple projects rather than having spending everything to one single project. At the same time, they wanted to have the flexibility of the payment either as a monthly or a quarterly, or as an yearly mode. And we will be talking that in the HPE financial models along with probably the GreenLake itself. With that, I would like to hand over to our speakers. I would like to once again thank you all for joining this session. Enjoy your day. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that, GB. That was an excellent opening note. We really appreciate that. Now, before I kickstart the presentations and hand you over to Erdinc Kaya from HPE, we're going to play a short video on HPE's Container Platform.
HPE is committed to helping our customers succeed with their digital transformation initiatives for applications running in their data centers, in multiple public clouds, and at the edge. Containers represent key enabling technology, bringing agility and portability to modernize application development. They've become an important building block for cloud and hybrid cloud architectures. And the open source Kubernetes system has emerged as the de facto standard for container orchestration. However, using containers and Kubernetes to transform and modernize enterprise applications is not straightforward. Cloud-native microservices-based applications are a natural fit for containers and Kubernetes, but enterprises have a wide variety of monolithic applications that are not cloud-native. Re-architecting these as cloud-native applications is time-consuming, expensive, and in many cases not possible. These monolithic applications can benefit from containerization. However, they have additional requirements that make it challenging to deploy them in containers. So, enterprises are forced to maintain very different approaches for their cloud-native microservices applications and their non-cloud native monolithic applications, each with its own operations, processes, tools, and infrastructure. This reduces team productivity, delays time to value, and increases the cost of operations. Enterprises need a unified Kubernetes-based platform to containerize both cloud-native and non-cloud-native applications, providing a common framework to realize their vision of application modernization and digital transformation. Introducing the HPE Container Platform, an enterprise-grade solution that brings the benefits of containers to a wide range of use cases, from CI/CD pipelines to AI and analytics and more. Running on any infrastructure, either on-prem, in multiple public clouds, in a hybrid model, or at the edge. DevOps teams can streamline operations, standardize processes, and easily manage multiple Kubernetes clusters. Developers can rapidly go from concept to production with their choice of open source tools and on-demand access to application environments. IT teams can ensure enterprise-grade security and control, provide the flexibility to deploy on any infrastructure, and reduce costs by running containers on bare metal servers. With HPE Container Platform, enterprises can increase the speed and agility of application development, improve team productivity, and reduce the cost of IT operations to accelerate their hybrid cloud journey and help ensure success with digital transformation. Learn more at hpe.com/info/container-platform.
Now, to give us more details on the unique capabilities of HPE's Container Platform, I'd like to introduce Erdinc Kaya, Lead Storage Solutions Architect at HPE, to deliver his presentation. Thanks, Erdinc.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you. And greetings, everyone. I wish you all safe and enjoying the work at home luxuries here. So yes, we will be talking about the technology trends and what's going on in the market today and how we are trying to provide these capabilities and advances and adopting to these technologies without the risks and complexities. So HPE, a couple of months ago, announced the container platform, HPE Container Platform, to bring the Kubernetes, open source Kubernetes, to the enterprises with covering the requirements of the enterprise. But let's take a quick look on what we are seeing and why did HPE announce such a combined and out-of-the-box solution. and how does it help to you as our customers, right? So the major trends that we are seeing is on multi-folds, right? So we have technology-related trends that's happening, like adopting to the new technologies like microservices and DevOps operations and these kind of new software development architectures, as well as adopting to the cloud and hybrid cloud, mainly using private cloud, multi-cloud, public cloud in multiple ways, and combining all of them together. And of course, there is a association with the cost that's related to these changes, right? So improving the technologies and services, but also being able to do that, especially during these times. And my colleagues will be covering that, how we are aligning with these requirements and trends going forward. And lastly, the thing that we are seeing, this containerization, or the new ways of deploying applications and developing software is more or less very much related to all of these trends that's happening in the market. So the containers are bringing many advantages. And another thing that we are seeing is the adoption of hybrid cloud and private cloud, and being ability to flexibly migrate applications between these locations. And now Edge is also becoming a very big deployment model. So this is another trend that's happening in the market. And to be able to adapt to these technologies and the deployment models, there are many things that are open to change, right? And these changes often doesn't come with straightforward and cheap ways. So there are many complexities related to that. So what are the containers? Let's start with the containers and what are they, and what does Kubernetes is doing with the containers. So first of all, as my colleague Gibi mentioned, that the software development and deployment architectures have started with the client-server architectures back in 90s or even before that. And then we have seen the virtualization taking over the major model for these deployments. And then cloud became the de facto standard for initial deployment models or testing these kind of applications, and to be able to scale as a use case, as a consumption-based development and deployment model. And now we are seeing that the containers have adopted, have emerged as the standard way of building applications, deploying applications, and even migrating applications between different locations and wherever the data is sitting, or wherever the application needs to be close to the customer, close to the end user or the data. And the thing with the containers, that it's an open source project that have started in different various ways. Like all the mainframes have the concept of containers in one way, and then Unix systems used to have a similar container technologies. But eventually, like the last 8 to 10 years, Docker has become the de facto standard. There are some other technologies or open source projects that are also providing similar functionality for containerization. But Docker has become the de facto standard for that. And the project out of Google, initially named as Borg, became an open source de facto standard for container orchestration tool, right? So Kubernetes is the container orchestration solution, right? It's an open source platform. It's transferred to CNCF, which is the Cloud Native Computing Foundation. It's a non-profit organization that's incubating these kind of open source projects. And there are many corporates, companies contributing these projects, and also using these projects in their own environments for their development and software cycles, right? And HPE being one of them. So what Kubernetes does is that it provides a declarative model, right, for the developers, for the application developers or system administrators to be able to deploy containers, to be able to manage containers and also monitor containers in a vast ecosystem of the world, right? So it could be deployed in cloud, it could be deployed in virtual environments, it could be deployed in IoT devices even, and all what it does is that the capabilities and the entire ecosystem is built around this Kubernetes ecosystem, right? So there are many components that's sitting onto the Kubernetes or the container platforms, container runtimes, and there is the complexity, or I would say the massive amount of choices when it comes to the different functionalities that are not provided by the Kubernetes or Docker itself. Right? That's where the extensibility is coming from. So it's hugely extensible. You can add any kind of functionalities. Could be related to your machine learning workloads. It could be related to your infrastructure operations or orchestration of your hardware or software, the applications, the communication between applications. But in any parts, in any components that you are looking at in a Kubernetes deployment, you can end up with finding 10 to hundreds of options or alternatives that are doing same or similar things, right? And that ecosystem, while being a good benefit and huge flexibility for customers, it also brings lots of complexity, right? And it's a very fast developing, very fast moving ecosystem. So what you have today or what you have implemented today might be obsolete within a couple of months or weeks, or might be completely changed in the way that it orchestrates. And it's the biggest change, one of the biggest changes that companies are seeing here is to keep up to date and keep integrating these ecosystem components, right? So this is one thing that we are trying to address with our platform. The second thing is that HPE has been leading the hybrid cloud strategy for a long time now, and container technologies or containerization is perfectly fitting into that strategy, right? Because one of the major benefits of containerization is the flexibility or portability of the applications. So we believe in that applications will not be seeing or using the public cloud, or will not be using the private cloud, or combination of them all the time for all the life cycle through a single application. So there will be a mixture of these deployment models even for a single application, right? And the portability of containers, the portability capability that containers are bringing is perfectly fitting into that strategy and that operations model. So that's why we are very quick and very happy to adopt the containers technology, containerization technology into our hybrid cloud strategy. And that was another reason that why we are investing in this world and in this trend going forward. As I was explaining, right, so the Kubernetes is open source, it's very accessible, it's very easy to start with, right? So anyone can just access the code and start deploying even in a small number of resources, just a few servers or even VMs. And then you can start bringing it into the operation very, very quick and easy way, right? But eventually it's not that easy to bring it in an enterprise level, in an enterprise environment, to be able to cover all the requirements of an enterprise, right? The security, the multi-tenancy, the control, the IT control or the access control, the role-based access capabilities, and all these kind of stuff that, as I was explaining, is a different story, right? And it's a really tough situation to be in, and you have to be having an investment in the resources, in the talent, I would say, right? It's not about the resources that you are putting in your data center or using in someone else's data center, but it's about the talent that you will need to deploy to be able to build this environment and keep up to date. So what we are mainly trying to achieve here with the HPE Container Platform is to take these challenges away from the customers, put extra capabilities that enterprises require, right? In an enterprise or organization would need, and then bring it as an out-of-the-box experience for any kind of deployments in that sense, right? So the hybrid cloud is reality, multi-cloud is reality, but we are looking at a way to be able to orchestrate deployments. I mean, you can have multiple Kubernetes clusters in different versions, but you should be able to deploy them in different places, different clouds, or different locations or resources, let's say, in a single control plane, right? So you should be able to monitor, manage, migrate, move applications or even the data through the same policies, right? So this is one of the biggest challenges. I mean, each deployment option is providing their own control plane to be able to manage the environment, but there is no overseeing or over managing a control plane that can do this in a multi-cloud environment, right? So this is one of the biggest things that we are bringing in with our container platform. Another thing is that the containers are written for cloud native applications, microservice like applications, right? So they are contained in a very small functions, in a very small features and deployment sizes, but they are not written for the applications that we currently have. And many of the organizations, many enterprise organizations, they already have lots of applications that are built, that are pre-written for non-cloud operations, right? So we are calling them monolithic or traditional operations. They rely on other servers or services to be running just next to them, accessible through network, or even sometimes storage area network, right? So to be able to access to the database or the data. So they are not written for this world of the cloud or container deployments. So that's another big challenge that's preventing companies to be adopting the fully containerized or even fully cloud deployments. And we cannot just leave them aside, right? So we are bringing another capability to be able to put your traditional applications, the existing applications, without changing the code, without changing the architecture, without refactoring the application, and bringing it into the container world, so you can manage the application as you are managing any other container platform. But the biggest challenge with that approach, the biggest challenge that Kubernetes and the containerization ecosystem is trying to resolve, is the persistent storage capability, right? So where is your data sitting, and what happens if container moves from one location to another, or if just moves from one node to the other? So the persistent storage is the blood of the data, right, or blood of the application that needs to be accessible wherever the container is running. So we are also bringing this persistent storage capability without the need for migrating the existing data, or without needing to building up a totally new and different data platform. And eventually we are also covering all these deployments, let's say, or the clusters that you are using in an enterprise grade security, in a meaningful, cost efficient way. So that's basically what are the challenges that we are trying to handle with the HPE Container Platform, right? As I said, we announced HPE Container Platform as a solution, built-in off-the-shelf solution back in November, and we have started already having discussions and talking about what it is and how it brings, and how we can prevent even the lock-in, right? Because one of the main reasons that people are or organizations are embracing the open source ecosystem is the biggest reason is the flexibility and speed of adopting new technologies. The second one is the prevent the vendor lock-in, right? So no, you shouldn't be locked into a single vendor or single technology, so that you can and you can't control that technology. So you have the advantages of total cost of ownership. That's why we embrace that the Kubernetes as de facto standard of container orchestration. It's open source. It doesn't belong to any company or any organization. It is supported by many of the financial and non-profit organizations. But we are also bringing the knowledge and expertise and the capabilities that we have via acquisitions, right? So we acquired Blue Data about 2 years ago, sorry. And then Mapper acquisition happened around 12 months ago. And these are the major building blocks on our container platform, right? Without preventing you to get your data or to get your applications to other platforms if you choose to do so. So as I was trying to explain, and the video also was talking about this, right? Kubernetes is the de facto standard. It's a runtime for orchestrator tool for containerized applications, like the workloads. So it provides bringing resources together, server storage and networking resources together, orchestrates all these components, and provides a dashboard and the application interface for the developers or the applications that is using these resources or the platform, and also provides the dashboard and the API level access or the orchestration access to the IT operations, right? And then eventually you have your application users that are accessing these applications. It's all about that. On top of it, you in an enterprise deployment, you need to be able to attaching many of these services, right? You have to be installing or configuring all these services so you can manage it properly, you can update it, you can keep it under control, you can provide control, enterprise control, like security and auditing and access control. and curated applications, for example. You don't want anyone to install any kind of application into your environment and being able to access any data in your environment. So all of these services or additional roles has to be installed and implemented in your environment. So downloading and installing a Kubernetes cluster is for free, is very easy, is very quick starting point. But then the complexity and the challenges starts to phase up, right? So it will start to come. So what we have with the HPE Container Platform is that we are providing all these missing components built into the system and pre-integrated. So we are giving you the curated app store that you can choose the applications, already available applications, whatever those applications might be, or you can bring your own applications inside the container platform and then provide the access capability to any user that you have configured in your multi-tenant environment, right? And then we are also providing secure access gateways and load balancer by default, so you know and you can control, again, integrated with your Active Directory or LDAP or even single sign-on infrastructure. So you have full control over the applications, you have full control over the infrastructure, and another thing is that you have full control on which versions of Kubernetes that you are running, which versions of applications that you are running in which environment. So this is the main use case or the benefit of bringing a fully integrated solution into the environment, right? The final component that we are bringing is the pre-integrated persistent storage capability that's coming from the Mapar acquisition, right? And we also have this capability to attach to the existing storage. So it's, in a nutshell, these are the components that we are completing the open source Kubernetes ecosystem without touching anything in the Kubernetes. So you are always free to migrate your applications, migrate your workloads from this Kubernetes deployment to any other Kubernetes deployment. So this is how we are preventing the vendor lock-in, how we are enabling you to not to change anything in your code, so it can be run in any other open source Kubernetes cluster. But we are providing these integrated and built-in capabilities to make it enterprise ready, enterprise available, and to be able to control in an enterprise environment, right? So this lays out how we are bringing different applications to different user profiles. So we are seeing more and more expansion of the personas that are needing to access certain applications or even certain data. And these are the kind of users or personas that we have never been in communication, right? So these are either new user personas that emerged with the AI, ML, machine learning kind of use cases, or that they didn't have any interaction with the IT or infrastructure or even the software development teams. Now, these users have different types of access, and we are providing them applications that they are, or toolkits, tool sets that they need to do their job effectively, and we are enabling you to be able to put your own applications into these environments without changing the code or changing the application as it is, right? And then the orchestration happens at the Kubernetes level. We are just adding the capability to create multiple versions, multiple clusters or of same versions or multi-version Kubernetes clusters into the same environment without needing to change or without needing to go through the very complicated, very error-prone upgrade processes, right? So you just create a new cluster, new container cluster using Kubernetes with the new version, and then you just start migrating your workloads into this new cluster to see and test, right? So if it is working properly, if it is covering your requirements, if not, you just go back to the existing cluster without taking these risks. And as I was saying, right, the pre-integrated persistent storage, or the data fabric as we are calling it, is giving you the ability to not to build storage platform or persistent storage capability using different available storage systems that has Kubernetes support, but instead we are providing a global data fabric that you can put your data into this fabric, and then you will be able to access to this data fabric wherever the containers, wherever your applications are running. And one last thing that we are providing here is the capability to tap into your existing data sources. So if you have your data lakes or data ponds anywhere in your enterprise, or it could be even on the cloud, in any public or private cloud, we are just tapping into this data without moving that data, without migrating or copying this data into this platform. So you are not investing in any other extra capacity or deployment, but with the control of the definitions that you are having in this enterprise platform, right? So you can define which users can have read access, can have read-write access, which users can have delete or add users to have access. All these control is in your hands within this platform. So it's making it very simple, very straightforward, and very secure multi-tenant environment for being able to deploy the applications. Well, in a summary, right, with HPE Container Platform, we are not only bringing the open source Kubernetes into your environment in an out-of-the-box pre-installed, pre-integrated solution, which is already possible with any other ways of the methods that to be able to deploy the Kubernetes cluster. And as I said, these are already there are already many choices to do that. But we are also bringing this capability to be able to deploy multiple Kubernetes clusters without merging them, or without trying to make them integrated or disaggregated in a way, right? So you can have multiple Kubernetes clusters in multiple versions with a single click. So you just define your resources, which clusters can have access to what type of resources, what are they using this kind of storage, or do they have access to the persistent storage, or it's just a test development environment and all these kind of stuff. And all this happens with your pre-built, pre-configured deployment models, right? So it's the installation of these clusters are not time-consuming, or you are not starting from scratch for each and every time that you need to deploy a cluster in the environment. The other thing, as I was explaining, is the multi-cluster, multi-tenant control plane. So you can deploy these clusters, Kubernetes clusters, in any place. It could be in the edge locations, it could be in any public cloud providers, or it could be in your data center or in someone else's data center. And you can just do this through the single-click installation and start giving access to these clusters based on your role-based access control configuration. Right? The data fabric is providing the global data plane for any applications with all the security and with all the pre-built access control capabilities integrated. So you just select your cluster, you just select your users, you just select your user groups, and provide them access. Tell them what part of the data or in which locations that they are able to access or not. Right? The other part that we are providing, a unique HPE capability, I would say, is this Kube Director project. So it's an open source project that HPE has provided into the ecosystem. So Kube Director is the orchestrator or Kubernetes operator, as it's called in Kubernetes ecosystem, that enables any application, or that enable us to put any application that's running on a bare metal or VM into a container without changing anything in the code, right? So you can just take your application as is, and without changing anything in that application, without changing any deployment requirements of that application, and put it in a container, and then start getting all the benefits of container orchestration, being it able to portability or cost efficiency and everything, right? And with data tap capability or FS-bound capability, we are giving you ability to touch into the existing data in your enterprise without copying that data to any place. Right? You don't need to copy the data. You don't need to create copies that you may not be able to manage where that data is. So it's very well aligned with the GDPR and similar regulations. So you keep the data in its place. You don't touch the data, and you give the users or the groups the access to the data based on their roles, right? So you provide role-based access control to that data. So you have full control who is accessing the data, and who can access, and who can copy, and who can delete the data and everything. All these capabilities are all built in. And finally, as I said, it's a pre-built out-of-the-box experience. So you have your existing applications aligned for different kinds of users, aligned to requirements of different user personas, and you just give them access to use whatever applications that they need to use. And that's mainly using these or targeting these use cases like CI/CD. It could be application modernization, it could be data analytics, or it could be machine learning, deep learning capabilities. There are many more details when it comes to the technology and the deployment and the use cases. We would like to take you over for those details discussions. If you're interested, just please help us to understand what you are expecting. What are the where are you in your journey of container platforms or containerization? And we will be more than happy to work with you in this one. Back to you, Mark. Thank you.
Erdinc, thank you so much for such a detailed and forensic analysis on the capabilities of the HPE Container Platform. Now, you concluded your presentation by touching on all the key differentiators, but in this short summary, and I know I'm putting you on the spot here, what would you say ultimately makes the HPE Container Platform stand out from market competition?
I would say we are not trying to take the open source project and make it our own, but instead we are just embracing that ecosystem and building it in an enterprise level. So the experience that the customers will be having without looking into HPE, without looking into a certain technology or function, and being able to use this platform, if they see that value of that integration, ecosystem integration and support and the knowledge and expertise behind it, of course, I think this is the best thing that we are providing. This is our answer to contribute to the ecosystem that's bringing that technology to the market.
Brilliant, Erdinc. Thanks very much. That was a great answer and a great presentation. Now, I just want to encourage all the attendees as well. Get your questions in. The guys are delivering fantastic presentations. So on the Q&A option, send in your question, and I'll bring them up with the guys at the very end of the session as well. So please do ask questions and become engaged and interactive with us. So before, I just want to finally thank you once again, Erdinc. And before we move on to our next presentation, I'd like to play a short video on HPE's Green Lake solution.
Getting the cloud experience outside the public cloud isn't just wishful thinking. It's HPE Green Lake, bringing the cloud experience to your apps and data, even the ones that can't go to public cloud, letting you consume everything as a service. So you can focus on innovation and delivering new experiences to your customers. Together, we determine what workloads you need, give you just the capacity you need to get started, and give you the power to add more with a click, while you pay as you go for it all. No over-provisioning, no underutilization. HPE GreenLake works with everyone you work with. This one, that one, pretty much all the ones. HPE GreenLake brings the cloud experience to you with agility, control, and speed in a single window. Clouds, edges, data centers, unified. Plus experts who can manage everything so you can innovate more. And get to market faster, up to 65% faster, while developers can deploy without constraints. To launch the next app or the next big thing. You can't get this from imitators. You can only get it from HPE, the partner that's been doing it for a decade. For a cloud experience 99% of customers are staying with. Just GreenLake it. So let's rewind. Get everything as a service. Pay as you go, add capacity with a click, and have it managed for you. That's the cloud experience brought to your apps and data. Experience HPE GreenLake.
Okay, so I'd just like to, obviously, to give us more information on how HPE's GreenLake will help deliver its entire edge to cloud portfolio as a service. I'd like to invite to deliver his presentation Navid Hussain, the Category Manager of GreenLake MESA region.
Good afternoon. And thank you, Erdinc, for very nice technology presentations. And I'm very proud how we are bringing the technologies to the market. Now, let me quickly go through this journey of a business model, how we can help our customers in their digital transformation journey, how can we accelerate with less investment upfront on that? Now, my name is Navid Hussain. I look after GreenLake portfolio in the region, and I'm with on the GreenLake model for the last 6+ years, and I'm with HPE for the last 16+ years. Now, let me quickly go through the agenda. I'll will covering in the next 20 minutes. First, I'll talk about the market trend. What are the CEO, CIO, the priorities, and what they expect. And I will be more emphasizing on COVID situation and the post-COVID situation as well, how we can help you to achieve more on that. Then, of course, I'll go deep dive more on GreenLake overview. Our brand is a GreenLake's offering, how we can help you to achieve more with the less investment, how it benefit for our customers, and most important thing, we do have a very, very good reference for each and every verticals, and we are growing this business 46% year on year, and we are embracing around 46 customers every quarter. And then the next step journey, how we can take it forward. Feel free to put your all the questions in the question bar session. We will be able to address at the end of the session. Now, this is a very important to understand from the key business stakeholder and what their expectation to their IT head. What they are saying is now IT should be a integral part of the business. They are not a cost center. They are business enabler. So what are the priorities? What the expectation from the CIO? Help to grow the business, achieve our top lines. Also, based on the situation on the market, the business requirement, like what we have seen in the COVID, where people are talking about working remotely, and the IT should be agile, enabled to address those business changes immediately on that. And also important, how we can bring the data security, privacy in space. One thing we have seen it, the public cloud offering is also there. We also work closely with them, but a similar experience on-prem as well. And one of the third priority which CEO expect from our CIOs, make it very simple. And the most important thing is reduce the cost of operations, make profitable, more on that. I know IT is important, is business enabler, but we have to be more simplified and reduce the cost. At the same time, when we look at the challenges which CIO face during in the digital transformation journey, and of course, is COVID-19 situation is going to be more challenging on that. First thing is how we can reduce the outlay investment upfront, preserve the cash, and that is very, very important. Currently, in such current situation, any organizations who's going to preserve the cash, they are the king on that. And how you manage on uncertainty of economy situations. Also, the unique challenges which CIOs see it in terms of adaptation of the changes, how we can adopt quickly, and trying the transition to a new model. On the same time, reduce the risk as well, because one of the things is go to the cloud. It's nice to have it, but also when you go public cloud, it brings a kind of data privacy, latency, and this kind of challenge as well. How we can have a similar kind of experience on-prem. And we as HP, we are a true believer the world will remain on the hybrid, and how we can leverage our customers both on-prem, off-prem, similar experience the way they are operating, and that can be done through our offering. Now, this is something I would like to really quickly go through the old word, what's the currently the way IT is being operated, and the new what they expected. So it's very, very important a shift from a functional to strategics. Currently, how the IT operates, they're more focused on operation part, more on negotiating vendors, technologies, and then how to manage the costs, and of course is a more reactive, putting the fires. Now, what business expect from IT? Now, driving the business innovations. How we can have our business users access and help us, IT help them to grow the business. define the strategies, and be more competitive, and how the other vendors are doing it, and we should be able to get the market share on that. So this is something expectation from CEO to CIO, that you have to change, you have to align the way business is being operated on that, more on this. Now, when the digital transformation journey comes, you have got various options to adopt any technologies or any kind of technologies you're dealing with. Three options which we foresee in the market. First is outright purchase, which is a traditional way people are do that. But currently, based on economic situation, now customer is saying it, no, I want to move it to second option, could be a financing or pre-provisioning as well as a kind of leasing. In this process, you only solving one problems of your finance budgeting on that. But when you talk about three key challenges which we see: cost, agility, and the risk. This is not addressed. Only one part is addressed. Only cost, no agility, and no risk is addressed on that. It still is total cost of ownership will be higher because you still pay for over provisioning capacities. While we would like to change this completely shift from outright purchase or leasing to a purely as a consumption base, could be on-prem, could be off-prem, both on that. And that is the one which I'll go deep dive more on that. It's best for total cost of ownership, a seamless experience, a kind of a service agreement, and what you consume, you pay on that. Now, let me quickly go through what is GreenLake experience all about on this. First is from edge to cloud. The journey is a completely from edge to cloud as a service offering we give, where you are not making any investment upfront. It's a zero budget, zero upfront investment. You are paying what you are consuming on that. And the beauty of part of the model is a pay-per-usage model. Also, if your strategy or if business initiatives get changes, you reduce, you shrink, that bill also goes down. It's like electricity and water in a normal, where you see in summer times utilization is more, you get a bill more. When utilization is less, similar experience you get through our GreenLake offering on that. And across both hybrid states, on-prem, off-prem as well. And also important thing is how also can see a completely unified dashboard. I'll go through in the next upcoming slides, a unified experience of both workload on that. Now, how the GreenLake works and what is it all about? What we do that is a part of the GreenLakes, we review what you need, and we install an extra capacity on-prem, which you don't pay unless until you use it. So that address your agility and reduce the cost as well. And unlike a public cloud, in the GreenLake, we suggest what's the best technologies for your environment, for your workload on that. And this is also very flexible, very customizable, aligned with your service need, what you need. And as our contractual commitment, that capacity always ahead of the demand. You don't pay for any kind of over provisioning on that. It really give a kind of cloud experience on-prem. Now, this is a very, very important. I want like to stress here on this. So with adoption of GreenLake offering, what customer gets? And this is coming from IDC. They have done the survey for our customers. 65% it improved the time to market, agility on that. What we see it, any project you'd like to run it, it takes minimum 6 to 9 months. Where in this is a matter of clicks, because you have got an extra capacity on-prem available. And the second thing also looked at, in terms of return on investment, TCO, it reduced minimum 30%. And also we looked at operational efficiencies, it streamlined the process 45%. It improved the supply chain process. What we have seen in some of the customers, they looked at how we can help to to meet our business needs, because our internal process take long time. And that is the answer of that on a GreenLake, where we streamlines, because we give a clear cost productive cost for long term, and we give a price similar like a cloud per GB per compute, and also we give benefit of economy of scale, means as they grow the price goes down. So that also we give the benefit on that. And now this is very important to understand from traditional way of procuring or any project versus on this when you move it to consumption. In traditional way, your returns is probably around 3 to 5 years you get it back. That's why you see it, your investment is black, you can see it, and then this is your revenue you're getting generated. While in this model, since you are not making any investment upfront, less than a year you get a return on that. And that is the one we want to emphasize to all our executives or CIOs to look for that model, so where within 1 year you see it how you can align your business need with IT cost. Now what we provide, now you will be asking what all I can get it from the GreenLakes. Everything you have seen the videos, like everything you can get it on the GreenLakes offering. From big data, containerization, SAP HANA, even public cloud, private cloud, VDI as a services, data protection, backup as a services, database, compute, all infrastructure, compute, storage, and edge. And that's the beauty of part of it. You get a one GreenLake Central, one unified dashboard covering both public and private. And my colleague is talking about in the containerized platform how you can move the workload based on that. And also we give our customers a kind of intelligence as well to identify which workload should be on which on-prem or public to give you best cost on that. Before you deploy it, you have full visibility as well. And of course, is in case if you are looking for a complete managed part of this, we also provide a complete management services. In case if you are looking as again as optionals, however, from the technology point of view, is by default it's covered. But in case if you would like to cover from application point of view, we also can cover as well. Again, in the same thing, everything's as a services, you are not making any investment upfront. Now, this is important as well when we talk about GreenLake Central, what it gives to our customers. One single portal, we call it as a GreenLake Central, is an operational console, which we give access based on your user's profile and business profile, and it's kind of a complete automation as well to have a provision of a storage or provisioning of any kind of workload, a DevOps environment, all this can be done. So it also helps for your operation team to bring automation, improve the efficiency as well. Now, how it works is as follows on that. You get a clear one central port, which you give an access, and then you give an access to your users, and that unlike same like a public cloud experience, just a matter of one click, you request our services, it deploy the workload, and once you deploy it, and when we start utilizing it, it goes to a portal, and you have also have an access of that portal so that you have clear visibility how you are consuming your resources, and then according the cost as well. So you can also suppose if you want to launch a new project and you would like to know how much it will cost, based on the need, you just insert on that, you come to know what is going to be. So it will also help you in your budget planning exercise as well. And one of the most important thing is that we take care of any new technologies. When it comes new technologies, you shouldn't be worried about that part. We always try to bring a latest, greatest technologies as a part of this offering. So you shouldn't be worried about how you do it, technology transforms, if it's aging infrastructure, how you do that. By default, in this model, auto tech refresh is included. After the technology is maturing at the stage, we come and then we discuss with you. You would like to renew the contract, and then we bring the new technologies and the contract continue on that. So it make easy for you so that you don't focus more on the technology part, so that you remain focused on the business. So what four key elements Grille Central provides? First thing is a complete transparency workload across both. So you can see optimization of workload, also integrated view. And one of the things which we have seen it, a compliance check. Whether how much is the risk? One of the things, if you recall, that we mentioned of the risk as well from the CEO as well, it also give you options. Okay, you have loaded some workload on public or on prem, whether you're meeting a risk criteria or not, it also give you access as well. So we do have a 1500 control points where you can see in terms of compliance point of view as well. It also flag you on this. Now, from the Grille Central point of view, we are addressing all the points, talking about from IT ops, how much capacity they need, developer teams, whether how we can deploy the capacity. Specifically for CIO, they also looked at a single port, and then they can have full visibility on a click. Also addressing CFO need, because they would like to know, I know all the time when IT comes, they're asking me extra costs. I want to know how much I'm spending it, how they're efficiently working it. Also give a dashboard on this. And of course, it's a compliance check is also there as a service we offer. So you can, good for the legals also, whether business might risk or not, any kind of impact on the business. So it also give you that features as a part of GreenLake Central. Now, what we are doing it as from the GreenLakes, it's not something now we do have a 10 plus experience, and I'm very proud to say we are the leader on this, and other vendors are following us. We started 2010. We do have 820 customers, 3.5 billion already in the contract. We are operating a GreenLake 50 plus countries, and the most important thing is, since we have doing for the last 10 years, is customer retention. 99% of the customer retention, and the growth is a phenomenal growth on that. And that is based on the current market dynamics, economics as well. It helps the customers to get more with less investment. A true pay-per-use model, because it allow you shrink as well. So suppose if you do an optimization, your utilizations goes down, bill also goes down. It's a true consumption-based model on-prem. Now, how we have done it, we have got references, case studies from each and every verticals. And in our region as also, we have seen, and thanks to our partners, Alpha Data and other, they have grown this business. We have seen 185% growth compared to last year's. Massive growth, and currently, based on we are closing in H1, we are around 234% growth on that. So what we see it is a true the customer adoption, specifically on the based on market situation as well. It help our customers to adapt on this. So I'll be more than happy to have, if you would like to have a discussion with the local customers or any kind of geo customers, to have how their experience, how they benefited. I'm more than happy to have interaction with them. I have also giving the lot of links, which is also available when you Google it, those case studies for all the many customers. So you can see it. So it's a proven as well on this. Now, coming back to them, what are the next steps? It's nice to have it. What is the next steps? So you definitely can engage our experts teams. We do have an Alpha Data. They are champions, also GreenLake. You can reach out to them, and you can reach out to our team as well. How we do that? First, we looked at your right mix advisory, a discovery workshops, and then we looked at what is your journey which is going to be an obsolete and which is due for bringing a new technologies to give a better outcome, like my colleague mentioned about containerizations, and eventually we do everything under GreenLake offering on that. So again, I would like to share how we can help you to optimize your cloud experience, again, on-prem as well. Similar thing is what you're getting it on a public cloud. And you can reach out to me myself, an email address if you have any kind of, if you are looking for a deep dive session, I will be more than happy, along with our partners Alpha Data, to go through your, be a part of your digital transformation journey, and to meet your business requirements.
Navid,
over to you.
Navid, thank you very much. Another superb presentation, very similar to Erdinc. And the fact that it was very in-depth and informative. We've actually received a question from one of the attendees in relation to your presentation. The question came from Amir Tafiq, IT manager at Tajira Capital International, and he wants to know does HPE GreenLake have a service like Azure Storage to back up on-premise Hyper-V VMs and file servers to cloud storage?
Yes, we do have the services. We do have on-prem. What we give on-prem, what we recommend, and we have also references as well, where you take the backup on-prem and you pay on per GB of the data written on the disk of the backup. And we do have a partnership with Commvault, Veeam, Micro Focus Data Protector, and Cohesity. So you can we can suggest also any kind of technology platform, and also we do that the DR side offloading to Azure, Microsoft Azure, or it could be AWS. It's up to your call. Or we also providing a cloud volumes as well. We do have both offering on that. And in case if you're interested, reach out. We can have the more deep dive discussion on that. Again, we charge based on per JV, included everything: hardware, software, support, and implementation.
Navid, thanks very much for that. I hope you've addressed everything that Amir was wanting there. But as you said, he can reach out to you guys at HPE to find out more. So thanks a million for the presentation, Navid, and for the response to that question. Really appreciate it. So before we actually move on to our final presentation, which will be from Wassim Babelli, the Financial Area Manager at Middle East, I'd like to introduce another video, which is about HPE's financial services.
Enhanced customer interaction, increased regulation and security, disruptive business models. The financial services industry is changing. New styles of IT are creating a different world, and Hewlett-Packard Enterprise is here to help you explore it. We've been an integral part of this industry for over 25 years, always committed to helping it move forward. To build for tomorrow, IT infrastructure transformation must be the foundation. It frees up funds for investment, enables the rapid deployment of new capabilities, and provides a secure platform that is a springboard for innovation. Seamless, personalized, omni-channel engagement is now just something customers expect. But when products and services keep evolving across an often complex legacy estate, it's easier said than done. Hewlett-Packard Enterprise is integrating proprietary and partner software to deliver seamless customer experience across the globe. Finally, disruptive technologies have given rise to new business models right across the value chain. Peer-to-peer, Apple Pay, blockchain technologies. In this new world, businesses can meet customer needs better than ever before. Hewlett-Packard Enterprise is here to help you unlock the opportunity that new ideas and technologies represent.
Thank you for that. Now I would like, certainly last but certainly not least, I'd like to now introduce Wassim Babelli, the Financial Area Manager at Middle East, to tell us how HPE Financial Services empower customers to create an IT investment and life cycle management strategy to really drive digital transformation. So over to you, Wassim.
Thank you, Mark. I hope you can hear me well.
Yes, I can hear you very well, so you can proceed with your presentation. Thanks, Wassim.
Perfect. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're all safe and sound and doing well. I think it has been challenging and exciting times for everyone. So for companies in UAE and all over the world, cash flow management is very important as they finance additional demands on IT infrastructure. They're looking to support online businesses and virtual workplaces for employees, especially nowadays, where most of the employees are working at home, most of the students are staying at home, teachers. So in the next 15 minutes or so, I would like to share with you how HPE Financial Services is a crucial element of that strategy by providing the economic solutions to you as customers that need to accelerate your digital transformation. So, according to McKinsey, CIOs are playing more than ever an important role in navigating the crisis, dealing with employees working remotely, which comes with new cyber threats, while at the same time identifying ways to drive productivity. Nowadays, CIOs will be key in stabilizing their core business operations, and at the same time, they need to maintain their sales performance. In addition to the crisis that's happening and the disruption that's happening now, CIOs also have different drivers. They have budget that is limited and not growing. They have significant legacy equipment that isn't going away easily. As a matter of fact, many customers are still depreciating legacy while they are looking to go through a digital transformation. So that puts constraints on the balance sheet. And last but not least, the biggest challenge nowadays is managing cash flow. And I think we can all agree now that cash is king. Sufficient cash will be critical for the short-term operations and purchases. It doesn't matter how big the entity is. How the revenue, the strength of the balance sheet. If there is liquidity issues, it will have impact on the survival of the companies. Especially now in our region also as well, where we have significant reduction in oil prices, which ultimately reduces liquidity in the market. That's where we can play an important role in supporting our customers during this disruption period. We see and read, we read all above examples every day. Customers have high demands that are shaped by their digital experience. Businesses must continue to innovate to respond to those demands, or risk losing customers to competitors. And the competition are changing constantly. We internally as HPE and HPFS are always changing and disrupting ourselves and challenging ourselves, and in order to be competing constantly. This is because digital technology dramatically improves the economic and the capabilities of every business. The disruption and the threat of disruption motivates us all to reinvent ourselves continuously to succeed. So in the absence of the predictability in the marketplace, companies, enterprises will seek flexibility in their IT infrastructure and investment model to allow them to acquire, manage, and consume IT services and technology they need to run their businesses and open new markets for growth. That's where HPE and HPFS can play an important role in easing the cash flow and support our customer during this period. In fact, there was a press release a week ago talking about HPFS designating more than $2 billion financing specifically to help customers with their financial challenges. HPFS is also introducing initiatives, including payment relief program, to help customers acquire the new technology as they navigate this uncertain climate. We came up with the solutions include deferred payments, generating cash from existing assets, and matching payments to utilization. And one of the we're seeing lots of attention to 2020 payment relief program. So this is to help our customers to acquire the IT business needs today with a reduced payments for the remainder of 2020. So basically the cash flow will be very minimum for the first 8 months. It will be around 1%, and the remaining will be paid over the financing agreement. So basically deferring 90% of the cost over the next years. And we came up with this program because we seeing customers, as I mentioned, that doesn't matter how big the customer is, cash flow is a key and a king, and this will help customers, enterprises, SMEs, especially SMEs, to ease their cash flow, to obtain the IT technology they're looking for right now and defer the payments for later. Also, another program, which is a payment deferral program, which takes advantage of 90-day delayed payment structure. And this will help also ease tight budgets. So who is HPFS? In case you haven't heard of HPFS, it's a subsidiary of Hewlett Packard Enterprise. And it is considered to be actually one of the largest captive finance companies in the world, with around $3 billion of assets in our books and located around 52 countries in the world. So HPFS provides investment and lifecycle strategies to accelerate digital transformation, providing flexibility for future technology needs. We have been here in UAE, in Dubai, for the last 10 years, and we are located in Dubai International Financial Center. And as I mentioned, our aim is to help our customers to manage their cost and at the same time transform their business. So instead of paying everything upfront, whether it's hardware, software, or service transformation, companies will be able to finance that over the life usage, which can range between 1 to 5 years. We also work with SMEs, multinational and government entities, and the capabilities to finance projects ranging from $100,000 to even $20 million. So each company, of course, has its own KPIs and objectives. And what we're trying here is not to throw solutions at the customers, but rather know and understand their KPIs and objectives. So HPFS works closely with our customer to understand what business objectives they're trying to achieve, and then design a plan to acquire the technology they need. Of course, we found the top objectives for many customers, reducing costs, driving efficiencies, and minimizing risk. And to name few of our investment solutions, one would be leveraging value in existing assets to fuel digital transformation by unlocking the hidden value in your existing technology assets. So through an asset transfer structure, you can convert your existing owned IT assets into cash while retaining ongoing use and control of it. So this structure basically puts money in your pocket today. Another investment solution would be extended deployment, where our customers will be able to match payment to production by obtaining up to 12 months of IT in advance. And you would start paying only upon activation of the hardware. So the hardware will be in your premises, configured and tested, and within 12 months, you will have the flexibility to activate the hardware when required. So this is a predictable monthly payment based on activated units. This will help our customers improve productivity with immediate access to technology. We have, as well as the traditional leasing options with residual investment to drive the TCO and refresh technology. So our customers see a big value in our investment solution in leasing, where it allows them to align their IT usage with their payments. They can anticipate changing technologies and evolve business requirements with the refresh cycle. Because owning an asset and having them in the books and having them in the premises also is a cost that we need to look at, right? With the end of life cycle, with the environment concern, with the servicing of it. So this would help our investment solution, would definitely help mitigate end of useful life concerns. So with the environmental concerns, make the removal of the IT equipment from service even more difficult and expensive. With leasing, it's a smart economic solution. So at the end of the lease term, simply return the equipment and we can manage removal safely in accordance to the environment laws. And this will help our customers to establish a fixed, predictable monthly expense schedule, while of course freeing up capital for other uses. And the structure can include software, hardware, installation, and maintenance, and bundled all into a lease contract with no down payment, no fees, and that, of course, would help customers to align the cash flow they obtain to their cost expense. HPFS will provide financial flexibility to accelerate digital transformation today, tomorrow, and in the future. So as our customers deal with the pressure to accelerate innovation in an age of disruption, we are uniquely positioned to help you build IT investment and lifecycle management strategies that enables digital transformation and delivers your goals. We work with customers in two primary ways to drive real economic value. First, we help to increase long-term investment agility to continually drive innovation. In addition, we help customers reduce investment risk with untested systems, experimental deployments, or new business models. Second, focusing on existing infrastructures and operations, we help our customers extend and extract value from their existing systems. This isn't new for us. We've built expertise and experience over time. We empower customers to move money to accelerate new innovation. It is the combination of these strengths that can help change the innovation game for our customers. Our commitments as well is to bring a solution portfolio that drives a sustainable or a circular approach to IT. We are proud as HP Enterprise. We are proud and committed to being a leader in environmental and social progress and has been ranked in the top list in the sustainability indexes since 2011 and leading the way in emissions reductions. HPE is developing transformative solutions to reap the benefits of growing connectivity while reducing the environmental footprint of IT infrastructure. Our sustainable products help customers transform sectors and expand access to people around the world, reflecting the technology industry's unique potential to deliver sustainability at scale. Locally, we saw a lot of initiatives happening. I believe in 2021, government entities will be paperless. In 2012, it was a strategy, a green growth strategy. His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum launched a long-term national initiative to build the green economy of the UAE under the slogan of a green economy for sustainable development. Through this initiative, UAE aims to become one of the world leaders in this area, as well as a center for the export and re-export of green products and technologies. It will also help maintain a sustainable environment to support long-term economic growth. We are bending the take, make, dispose economy to a circular economy, where financial growth is decoupled from the consumption of raw materials. So it starts from the raw materials till the time where we consume and life cycle. We consider the complete life cycle of our products to enable our customers to thrive in a resource-constrained world. Many of HPFS solutions, including and especially GreenLake that my colleague mentioned, contribute to a more circular economy, putting equipment back on the market, minimizing e-waste, encouraging uses versus owning. It is really about meeting business and sustainability goals. HPE Financial Services has been doing IT asset refurbishing and remarketing for the last 20 years now. We have one of the biggest hubs in the world. We have one in the US and one in the UK. And based on the HPE recyclability assessment, 98% of HPE product material is recyclable. Last year alone, we processed around 4 million assets. 89% of them remarketed and 11% recycled in a secure, environmental, responsible way. With that, I will end my presentation on this note and pass it back to you, Mark. Thank you.
Okay, great. Wassim, thanks a million for that presentation. It was actually absolutely superb, as were the previous two. A real fantastic insight into HPE's financial services. Now I'm going to kickstart a little Q&A. Now I'm conscious of the time, so I'm going to start with you, Wassim, seeing as you just finished your presentation. So obviously during that you highlighted how HPE have offered $2 billion in financing new programs to help customers cope with the challenges being presented by the current global pandemic that is COVID-19. Now, could you tell us how much of a response have you had from companies here in the Middle East to that payment deferral program?
We actually had, since we had the press release last week, I've been very, very busy. Customers, partners are looking for ways to ease and help their cash flow. And the programs that we came up with have been extremely creative to help with the issue that they are facing right now. The issue with the cash flow where they need to upgrade or they need to refresh, but are delaying and avoiding it until they have a better cash flow management. So with these solutions, that will definitely allow them, especially with the 2020 payment relief program, where you're paying only 1% for the first 8 months, no down payment and no fees. So that will help them to pay extremely low monthly installments and defer around 90% of the cost over the remaining years. So, hopefully in the next 8-9 months, everything will go back to track and they'll be able to then meet their installments while having the technology right now.
Yeah, that's a great answer, Wassim. And I know you don't have a crystal ball, but you are a financial expert. I mean, how severe do you think the financial ramifications will be here for the business community in the Middle East because of COVID-19? I know that's a difficult question, but I mean, how bad do you think it will be?
I'm really optimistic, especially here in this region. I mean, I think UAE was one of the first countries in the world to have the extreme full lockdown and to have schools. I mean, I was really surprised before US, UK, anyone in Europe to work from home. So they managed it very well, and they are easing the lockdown slowly and gradually. I think, I believe, I hope so. I'm optimistic, as I said. I believe in the next 2 months, 3 months, things and work and life will go back to normal slowly. Cash flow will be still an issue until companies pick up and businesses and confidence come up. It will take a bit of time. I would say till the remainder of this year. The priority of them is budget and cash flow, and delaying decisions until they see more security as such. And banks also here locally have their own challenges, right? With the oil price going down, liquidity, and also they are very, very selective in providing financing to customers. They are worried you have huge write-offs. I mean, you've heard, I don't know, ADCB, for instance, $2 billion with NMC write-off they're facing. So there's a liquidity issue. So I'm hoping with such programs that can help our customers at least to go through the first 3, 4, 5 months period, defer their payments, and help them with their cash flow.
Yeah, Wassim, thanks a million for that. That was a really comprehensive answer, and I'm loving your optimism. And I think it's fantastic that HPE are leveraging, their knowledge and their expertise to really help businesses here in the Middle East. So thanks for your presentation, and thanks for the question. I'm actually going to go on to Navid now, and go back to your presentation, Navid. I mean, one of the key standout points for me during your presentation was the report from IDC that sort of suggested or indicated that GreenLake triggered a 65% increase in terms of time to market and a 30% increase in return on investment. I mean, they're huge figures that really jump out off the presentation. I mean, would you say those are the type of figures that ultimately are going to make GreenLake a real huge success here in the Middle East?
And thanks, Mark. So, I mean, this is what we have seen it even in our local customers. We have reached out to those who are already using it for the last 3-4 years, and they come up. In fact, one of the customers is especially in manufacturing. He came up 48% saving compared to traditional. So we have seen this kind of figures locally as well. And it also really helping customers, not just from a financing point of view, it improve and free of their resources, free of the cash, so that they can remain focused on innovation to the organization. Over to you, Mark. Any?
Yeah, I can hear you now, Navid. You broke up there temporarily, but you're fine now. Yeah.
I mean, I was trying to give the message that the GreenLake offering is a purely true consumption. It also not only address financials, it also bring agilities, reduce the risk because it's a real pay-per-use model. And overall also free of our customers' resources so that they can more focus and bringing innovations to the business.
Yeah, thanks for that, Navid. Again, a comprehensive answer. And I think, as you said, there's a combination of factors that really make GreenLake a unique offering. And I think, obviously, as you've touched upon, you're already providing and illustrating massive results for your customers, and I'm sure that's something you're going to continue for the rest of 2020. So thanks for that. And just finally, I'll go back to the first presenter, my good friend Erdinc Kaya. Obviously you touched on the HPE Container Platform, and it's obviously something we've heard a lot about here in the IT ecosystem in the Middle East, and it's a platform that's going to make a huge impact. And since you've deployed that platform, Erdinc, what has the response been from the market?
Here in the local market? Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Did you hear the question? Yeah.
Yeah. You're asking about here the local market, right? In the
yeah, the local market. I mean, what sort of uptake has there been, or is it a case of you still have to put the message out there about the capabilities that the platform can?
So the announcement was made, the availability announcement was made back in November, but we have been very careful with that, right? So before that announcement, we have been trained in UAE. Even in the Middle East wasn't initially in the first deployment phase, but we started checking with our customers and what they are doing, and we knew that there was value for some of our customers because they have already started or have some challenges adopting this technology. So we managed to get UAE and Middle East in general to be involved in the deployment phase, first deployment phase. So I was in trainings back in October, beginning of October. We have been working with heavily with our Point Next services team to be ready. And we are also working with Alpha Data on some of the customers that are interested in that solution. And I think it's very, very fast. I mean, I would say it's faster than as HPE we were expecting it, as I was expecting personally, right? Because it's out there, customers are working on it. They have done some success, and some of them are already seeing the complexity and the challenges that it comes with it. So yeah, that's very good ramp up for us, and we have seen EMEA and worldwide teams are looking after us, seeing that there's lots of traction here in UAE. So I would say that's fantastic, right?
That's brilliant. Great to hear. Look, guys, as I said, I'm conscious of the time, and I know we are all extremely busy. I just want to look back in Gibi from Alpha Data, just to ask him about how important the partnership is between Alpha Data and HPE, and just if he wants to conclude the webinar by thanking you all. Feel free, Gibi.
Yeah. Thanks, Mark. It is fantastic to have HPE presenting all the solutions. Our relationship is not new. That is in the industry for a while, and we are the largest system integrator with the highest level of partnership with HPE. So we value that, and probably by far we are one of the largest in terms of numbers and all. So we have our own resources. You can reach out to Alpha Data. We are there to help you, be it the smallest customer or to the largest customer. We are there to help you, and we have a close association with the technical team and the business team of HPE. We can work together, help you, and guide you to the next transformation area.
Fantastic, GB. That's great. And as you touched on there, I mean, your company Alpha Data have been in the market since 1981, and you've had a lot of success in that time, and you're a very trusted provider, and I'm sure you're going to continue to have a lot of success, and the partnership between Alpha Data and HPE will continue to be a fruitful one. So I just want to conclude the webinar by thanking every one of you for presenting, every one of our attendees for taking the time out of their busy schedule to join us and interact with us. And I'm sure there's been a lot of feedback in terms of the polls, and hopefully there'll be a lot of follow-up to what the guys presented here today. So I would just like to, on behalf of CPI Media Group, thank you all for joining. Thanks for giving us the opportunity to hear more about some of the incredible solutions that you've got on offer. And yeah, that's it for me, guys. Just thank you all for your time, and I wish you all the best for the rest of the week, and please stay safe in these unprecedented times.
Yeah. And finally, I would like to thank all the speakers, our friends from HPE and the CPI team, and also all the customers who have participated. Thank you once again. Stay safe.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, we're just going to play the Alpha Data video now to wrap up the session. So thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.